is a shoe? It's a wonderful object.
A shoe to me is something that I have to put on my feet, not to get cold and not to get wet. And when there's a party going on, it has to look good.
A shoe for me should be kind of like a second skin.
It's an incredibly hardcore used product, because this is pretty much the worst way we can use a product. You rub it every second that you use it. You stomp on it.
Maybe a shoe is your dog, your fellow friend that walks with you every day.
If it's a hiking boot, you'll be able to hike in it. If it's a dancing shoe, you have to be able to dance in it. That's the physical need. But there's also another side, which I believe is kind of the same with all design, and that's the emotions that the user kind of projects onto it and that the designer tries to convey.
I think it has to express the user's personality.
You need shoes.
I've never designed shoes before.
I'm learning right now that everything is possible.
We don't know how to work with shoes, so we are learning everything.
Yeah. Shoe design is quite a huge topic.
Shoe design is essential in how you express yourself visually.
The challenge with shoes is you have a lot of real estate to work with, and there's a lot of little details that you can go in and tweak all over the shoe, but doing that and yet keeping it simple and keeping it coherent and moving in one direction, especially with an entire line of shoes, is really important, and that's probably the most difficult aspect. Sketch over the carbon
In this particular project we had went out for some interviews, and from there we took some of their stories and incorporated it into our design.
In terms of this project, what we're working with, the story is at the center of it.
I think all shoes tell stories about the person who wears them.
Working with the shoe is like, at the stage we're in the process right now, it seems to be more about just representing our story more than representing a shoe.
In terms of what we're working with here, it should have kind of a message to the user.
We had a main line that said, "Don't hide your feet."
We are telling the story about something fragile and misty.
I would say our story is the conflict and the pain within a shoe.
It's to take a classical or more refined shoe and kind of inject it with this energy and this imagination that you have as a kid.
So far we're working with how you can make the silence visible.
We are trying to interpret the story into to our shoe through form and materials.
Yeah, and materials as well.
with collages and sketches and some 3D sketching as well, where we just do and then we think a bit and then we do some more.
My main idea by going into this was just to let loose and work and just see where it takes me.
I think the foot itself also has some incredible shapes and details and just a lot you can dig into, kind of shape-wise.
We constantly worked on both the man's shoe and the women's shoe together. So when we draw something on the man, we try to do it somehow in the women's shoe as well.
It's hard work, but it's good work to combine aesthetic with functionality and not make it art but still keep it design.
Trying to work with different types of materials and where they're placed on the shoe.
We take some material and we use some mechanical stuff and put it into the material to ruin the material.
Take a can, fill it with vinegar and maybe a dash of cognac and dip some skin into it and maybe just cut.
You can just go completely crazy and maybe you won't end up where you think you would end up.
We have the opportunity to work without economy and without any pressure from someone in charge. So we really have a good opportunity to push the limit of what a shoe is.
I'm definitely learning how to play a little bit more.
And I think it's really nice to not have a straight line to walk, but take it all in slalom and loops and see where it takes you.
We are testing how far can we go.
wonderful if the shoe that we could create is something that is so silent it has kind of, it's invisible.
I would like to create something comfortable that people can fall in love with.
I want you to feel surprised.
We're trying to find that perfect balance and that sophistication with a little bit of a playful edge. Like a work shoe that's got a little something else that you know about and that perhaps someone else can see, but like a little bit of magic.